Dynamite! How's it going, all you guys and girls in the Illumination? Time to jump aboard the Loom Train. It's me, it's JJD. JJ Double J, the Illuminator here.
The Sweet One.
Also known by almost countless other aliases and nicknames. We won't get into that right now. Going back quite a while, 15 years ago or so, I used to work with a coworker who was very set in his ways, but he would always brag about how in his younger salad days he was a redhead. And he even showed us a picture of him from like 1972 or whatever. And the funny thing was, other than having gray hair now, he looked exactly the same. Here it was over 30 years later, and he looked exactly the same 35 years later or whatever. And he looked exactly the same. He even wore the same type of clothing and everything. It was kind of weird. But his hair had since turned into mostly gray by this point. And I'm assuming by this point that he was right around 60 years old, give or take a year. Well, one day he just decided he didn't want to have gray hair anymore. So he said he was going to dye his hair red again. And people were telling him, about Just for Men and stuff like that, but they didn't know if there was a red. I still don't think that there's a red for Just for Men, but there might be. What do I know? But he said that he wasn't going to use Just for Men anyway. He wanted to use the woman's product because it was better and permanent and all this other stuff. People told him he was going to be sorry, but anyway, he decided to use it. He came in one day and his hair was red. And I want to say, Bozo? His hair was red. The problem is he did it himself without any help. And to say that he missed some areas would be an understatement. He said that he fell asleep accidentally in the chair while it was on, so it was on longer than it should be. But I guess when he was putting it on, he missed on the right side of his head in the back. He missed this whole section about the same size as my hand on the back. He had short hair, shorter, like a man's haircut. But he missed a whole section in the back that was still gray. It looked absolutely terrible, but nobody had we didn't have the heart to tell him it was terrible because we knew it would break his heart. Well, one person had the heart, and it wasn't me. It was another coworker. He was the vice president of our union at the time. And I remember him saying to this guy, and he said, "Oh, hey, look, I dyed my hair. That's that. Oh, do you like it? Does it look good?" And he looked at it, and he went, "Well, to be honest, I think it looks like crap." And he went, "Oh, it does? Oh, nobody said that." Said, "Yeah, you missed parts." So he started, picking at it like you wouldn't believe. He started telling him all the problems that we all wanted to say. And this guy is the only guy that had the gumption to say it. So he was all self-conscious about it anyway. So the next day, he comes in, and his hair is like chestnut brown the next day. He ended up going to some salon to have them fix it. But they told him that they couldn't do a color red to fit, which I didn't understand. I mean, most salons, I think you can have any color you want, basically. The normal colors anyway. We're not talking about, fluorescent blue or anything, but they told him they had to re-dye the whole head, and they had to go darker than the color that he picked. So they had to do this. It was charcoal brown. When I tell you, the chestnut brown, charcoal brown. There was no charcoal brown. Chestnut brown. It was almost black. And it looked so weird on him. And it was the only time he ever dyed his hair because, believe me, he was getting his hair cut every 2.5 weeks after that to get all that brown cut off. And then he ended up having just back to the gray. But what a time. I mean, we just were like, oh my goodness, what a story this is going to make. And he never did it again, thank goodness. To be there, it was definitely funny. I hope you enjoyed this story. It helped me to relive some funny moments of yesteryear. But I've definitely worked with some characters. Definitely. Anyway, I'm off to the races. I love you all. Stay safe. This is the Illuminator, and I'll be back.
Game over.
Here's your sign.